Peter Lopez Jr. here today with the owner slash brewmaster at Plow Brewing Company, Kevin Robinson. Is that correct?
That is correct.
This is delicious beer I have in hand. Thank you for having us here.
Thank you.
I want to start first by congratulating you. I know that this tap room just opened up, not even 2 weeks ago?
About a week and a half. Yeah. It's been a long haul.
Wow, congratulations. It's
Thank
been
you.
a long time coming, guys. I drove by this place, I'd say about 20 times over the last few months. I saw the Divine sign, which some of the viewers might have seen. I know that it's now called Plow Brewing Company.
Correct.
But you incorporated both names. Can you kind of tell me a little bit about that? Because I know there's been a little bit of confusion about the two names.
Yeah, absolutely. So Divine Brewing is my bottles. It's my 750 milliliter bottle. It's got a cork and wire hood. And currently there's only 2 seasonals. Eventually there's going to be 2 more seasonals. And that's it. It's only going to be available in the bottle. It's not really on draft at all.
Okay, so maybe kind of like what Sierra Nevada is doing with like the Ovala series. I know they're doing it on tap too, but kind of similar in the sense
or
where
kind of like Lost Abbey. Yeah.
Okay, I get it.
Same kind of thing. Whereas then Plow is my everyday beer. You know, it's the beers that I'm drinking when I'm making the Divine Brewing beers.
Nice.
You know, so it's my Pilsners, it's my IPAs. You know, and it's also the brewery that allows me to kind of play around with the new malt and the new hops and everything that are kind of out there, so I can make sure that Divine Brewing is still getting the best of the best.
Sure. Okay, no, I like that. So to clear it up, there aren't 2 new breweries in town at the moment. It's Plow and Divine, both under the same roof.
Right. It's all the same thing, and they do. I mean, this is kind of a little bit cheesy, but they do tie together. You know, as Divine refers to the heavens, the Plow works the earth. Okay. And so it's kind of how they tie into each other.
Nice.
It's all the same place. It's all the same gear. It's all me.
Yeah.
Different branding.
So just to talk a little bit about how you got here. I know just knowing that you were the one of the brewers at Russian River. You were at Speakeasy at Lagunitas. That alone would be enough to impress me and most other beer geeks on a resume. But tell us a little bit more about some of the other things that you've done to get to the point that you're at now.
Yeah. So I went to the Master Brewers program at UC Davis about 11, 12 years ago now. It was 2003. When I graduated from there, I got a job at Lagunitas, and so I was their overnight brewer. Worked from 8 nights, 6 in the morning.
Wow, that's gotta be tough.
Yeah, actually, man, I loved it. It was great working there. It's good people, and so, but.
Well, not working at Lagunitas, staying up all night's got to be tough.
Yeah. It was different. I was single then,
Yeah.
Not married, no kids.
Sure.
But anyway, after a couple of years doing that, Speakeasy reached out to me and offered me a job as their head brewer, and so I took that, and so I was at Speakeasy for 3 years, and then after 3 years there, I kind of wanted to see fermentation from a different perspective.
Sure.
And so I went to work for a winery in St. Helena. And so I just wanted to learn about barrel management and how to clean them and then properly basically take care of them and kind of really what happens in the barrel.
All along while you were at the winery, did you know you were going to eventually come back to the?
From the day I accepted the job, I knew I was coming back.
So it was just part of the learning process.
Yep, absolutely.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
And that's actually where I formulated Divine Brewing, because a lot of wineries have multiple brands under their umbrella, and so it's also why when you look at the Divine Brewing bottle, that it's a really nice package, because all of that I designed when I was at the winery. And so my plan was actually to stay there at the winery until I got to kind of this point. But so I was after a couple of years that I was there. One day, Vinny Chilurzo, Russian River Brewing, gave me a call, and more or less told me he wanted me to interview me for a brewing job.
Sure.
And so once I met with him, basically accepted the job. It's kind of an offer you can't refuse.
And that's a huge compliment for Vinny to reach out to you. I would imagine if Vinny does watch this that he has a huge list of people that are constantly sending resumes, and they want the opportunity that you received, and Vinny reached out to him, so that in itself says a lot. I imagine that means something to you.
And one of the coolest things about it, one of the biggest things I was concerned about, so I did not tell him on the phone about Divine Brewing. I just talked to him on the phone, but once I met both Vinny and Natalie in person, it was almost the first thing I said. I said, hey, look, you guys, I want to be upfront and honest with you right now that I've got this other brand that I've already started, Divine Brewing. And I was a little bit fearful of their reaction, but they actually responded, immediately positive. They told me, look, if there's anything we can do to help you, you let us know.
That's great.
And so it was, because I've heard of different experiences from different people with different brewery owners.
Sure.
And so from the get-go, they have been nothing but supportive. It's been actually it's probably one of the best brewing experiences I've had.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's great. And I imagine you know each stop you had, whether it was Lagunitas, Speakeasy, at the wineries in Russian River, you picked up something. You picked up a tool, and you know it's probably added to what you have now, right?
Well, I mean, it's all in here. I mean, I'm not going to say there's any one beer or anything, but I mean it's all definitely kind of coagulated into to this.
So okay, this is the part of the interview where this is our third time doing this, and in the past we like to kind of just throw out some fun, trivial questions. Okay. It's a way for the viewer to get to know you better a little bit personally.
Cool.
So, just kind of fun, silly questions. I'm going to throw them out there. Just answer with the first thing that comes to mind.
Okay.
You go with that?
We'll see.
Okay. So, I see you're obviously an Ace fan. Kidding. He's wearing a Giants hat. So, who's your favorite Giants player of all time?
Well, there's been a lot of great ones.
Yep.
A lot of people don't like Barry Bonds, but he was great. But I mean, you got to go with Willie Mays.
Willie, yeah, I don't blame you.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you can't lose picking Willie.
Yeah, in fact, one of the things that always comes to me, we just played what I like to call Dodger Day, but it is in honor of Jackie Robinson, where everybody has to wear 42. I remember just even a couple of years ago, the Giants were playing the Dodgers. And granted, I don't want to disrespect Jackie Robinson in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
But if we're playing the Dodgers, I feel like they should have to wear number 24. Same numbers, reversed.
Right, yeah.
Anyway. Willie Mays.
Okay, so question number 2. I'm kind of a movie, we'll just say geek or dork or nerd, whatever you want to call it. I like these comic book movies, and you're starting to see a lot of them with the Avengers and Batman versus Superman. Yeah. So if you could have any superhero's power, like whose powers would you want to take? What superhero would you want to be?
It's a good question. Of course, everybody says Superman.
Of course.
I used to actually collect comic books.
Yeah.
And so, it was actually before X-Men became all popular, but I actually used to collect Wolverine. Mm-hmm. I still do have some of those comics. I'm going to give them to my son someday.
Yeah.
And so being that he's always a favorite of mine, even though now he's all popular, so I don't like that fact. But it's always kind of cool, the fact that, he can just always regenerate. So I guess maybe...
So Wolverine's your guy.
Yeah.
Okay. So third question. This one's going to be a little tougher, though. It is somewhat beer related. So we're in April right now. If you could only have one beer, it's an unlimited supply of one beer for the rest of the year, but that's the only beer you could drink, and it can't be one of yours. What beer would that be? See, this is where I stump them.
That is. That's a good one. So I can only have one beer.
One beer. Unlimited. You can have as much beer of this one beer as you want for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
But it's one beer, and that's it. I mean, whether it's hot, it's cold, you're stuck with one beer.
That is a good one. That's gonna take me a minute because I mean, immediately,
I'm gonna make it a little easier on it. One brewery, so now you have a whole brewery that you can pick from. Does that make it any easier?
No. All right. So if I had one brewery, looking at the portfolio, and to me they are an example of getting really big and doing it absolutely right, not selling their soul whatsoever.
Yeah.
Is Sierra Nevada.
Okay.
I can't argue with anything that they make. You know. They make a fantastic pills, which I love, as well as, Celebration was probably the first beer that I can remember that I would, go to the store specifically to buy, knowing that, okay, it's November, Celebration's out. It's the first beer that I can really kind of remember that. Now, of course, there's lots that have seasons.
But that was the first beer that really got you excited.
Yeah, it was definitely a Celebration. So yeah, so it'd be Sierra Nevada.
Okay. Well, I'd love to take this opportunity to, I want to hear, is there anything that you want to share with the audience that we haven't already spoken about?
Probably the only thing I'd say is, this is my passion. This is everything. I've put my heart and soul and everything you can see. I love to talk about it. So if you feel like coming in, definitely don't be afraid to ask me any questions, say hello, if anything else. And also, if you're anyplace else and you happen to buy my beer, thank you. I appreciate it you can't even imagine.
Ed Hops, thanks for holding the camera. Cheers.
Cheers.